Hey everybody, Eric with Solobox. Today I would like to talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the middle of the room. Actually, it's no longer in the middle of the room, and that's mostly because I parked it in the driveway. So I was down in Portland, Oregon, doing a little work for my uncle. He's getting ready to sell his house and move to Arizona, and I actually had been out in his garage several times, and I don't know how I failed to notice this motorcycle right in the middle of it, underneath of a bunch of moving blankets. But once I did realize it was there, I realized that it was in a bunch of pieces. And what that turned out to be about was he had taken it apart to fix the rear master cylinder on the brakes and had some back troubles, and it never went back together or got fixed. And so I said, hey, you know, I'm a pretty good motorcycle mechanic. I could probably help you put that back together. And we never did get around to even really looking at it, but I didn't think too much of it. Finished up the work that I was doing for him over the course of a few days, and then went home. And about, I don't know, maybe a week later, he called me up and said, hey, do you want that Goldwing? And I was like, oh yeah, I do want that Goldwing. You know, the funny thing about his garage was that I didn't notice the motorcycle in it, but what I did notice right away when I walked into that garage was the really cool vintage Mack rollaway. And he was out there. I was like, oh my God, that is cool. I didn't realize he used to be an SAE certified mechanic back, I think, maybe even before I was even born. So, yeah, he's getting ready to move. You know, he gave this to me, and it's full of tools. It also had the little side box that came off here, but he wanted to keep that, which is really kind of a shame. I would have liked to have kept all three pieces together. You know, I would have only given about a 2% chance of the key still being there, but there she is. Works on the top and bottom. Anybody from the Pacific Northwest knows about Olympia beer. Look at this vintage sticker. Pretty cool. Here's a message. And then, so you got this message followed up by this message. I'm not sure what's going on there with that, but anyway. So the bike came to me in pieces. I ended up going back down with my trailer and picking it up. All of the plastic was off of it. Basically what I got was the shell of a bike and all these bins. You can see there's still pieces that I've got to figure out where they go. But the bike is basically back together. I bought a battery for it, and I did get it running. I rode it around the block a couple of times, brought it back, and it promptly started leaking gas. I pulled the carburetors out of it, which by the way, is a real interesting venture. And what it turned out to be is that the float bowl gaskets were just like hard as a rock. And so I ordered myself up a couple of car rebuild kits. So these just came. These weren't actually supposed to be here for like another 5 days. They showed up yesterday. And so, but I've got to work today, so I won't be getting into this, but anyway, I bought a master cylinder rebuild kit for the rear brakes. I fixed that. It turned out that the clutch slave wasn't working exactly right either. All the fluid had drained out of it. And even though I didn't have a rebuild kit, I was still able to put some .4 in it and get that going again. I will rebuild it. They're known to kind of leak. And so no sign of any puddling or anything from it yet, but I'm going to go ahead and rebuild that too. It's like $17 or whatever, so not a big deal. And I definitely don't want to be out on the road somewhere and have the clutch stop working. So looks like I'm going to need to put some tires on it, put a battery on it. It basically fired right up and ran really pretty rough, but you know, it sat for probably 2 or 3 years without being put back together. So I'm really grateful. I never thought the day would come where I would really want a Goldwing, but I'm really excited about that bike. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to ride. It's something that maybe Asher and I could hop on and go out and do some touring or camping or whatever. So I think that'll be cool. So anyway, it's been a while since I've checked in, so I just thought I would make a little video about what's been going on. Been super busy, getting ready to assemble. I just picked up 8 more sets of boxes from Powder Coating and a bunch of frames. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg. There's just a bunch of frames inside the house. So today is all about assembly and getting stuff ready to ship. I've got a lot of eager people waiting on stuff, so I want to get that stuff out of here. I've got another pallet of aluminum out front. Good morning, son. Hi. How'd you sleep? Yeah, there's Asher. I got a pallet of aluminum out front with 6 sheets on it, so I'll be building a bunch more boxes this week too. I've got to build more quick release components this week too. Maybe I'll make a video that shows how that's done. So anyway, this is Eric with Sold Box. I'll be here in the shop if you need me. Ride safe, everybody.